Hey guys, in the past I've done videos on things like picture discs, flexi discs, things of that nature, and I want to do another video along those lines today, but instead of vinyl, this time I'm going to look at CDs, and specifically enhanced CDs. Now, an enhanced CD is a CD of the future, of the past. In other words, these were CDs that were considered futuristic about 10 years ago. So they were enhanced to include things like that were meant to be played on a computer. There were also regular CDs that can play on a regular CD drive, but they have an extra ability that only works when you put them in your computer. And that would be like little software programs, little video files, stuff like that, that enhanced your listening experience. Now, this is not necessarily to be confused with the way these things are done more commonly nowadays, where they'll just include like a bonus DVD with the CD. So, here you go, Eminem, The Eminem Show, standard popular album, regular CD, and boom, on the other side you got a bonus DVD, which includes music videos and electronic press kit kind of stuff. That's the way things are done nowadays. But enhanced CDs actually predate DVDs. So they're actually just on the regular audio CDs. And I've got only one or two because A, they're kind of rare, and B, there's not really so many in hip-hop, and C, I was buying a lot of my albums on cassette and then vinyl, so I sort of skipped the CD phase. I have a bunch of CDs, but not so many, and definitely only one or two enhanced CDs, but I do have a couple. And they're not necessarily all done the same way. So, for example, here we've got Pace One's One album, sort of his debut if you discount the rough Pace One Effect album that sort of didn't come out. But this is, again, more traditionally done like the Eminem one I showed you, where it's two separate CDs. So you've got one, which is just his basic album, and then the video CD. Now, this is not a DVD, it's a video CD, but really a video CD is basically just like a very small DVD. Small, not physically small, but small in the sense of how much data it can contain. You could still make video CDs. I mean, you could take a blank CD, burn video data on it to make it play like a DVD, but it has way less room. The quality is typically lower, and the quality is certainly, as you'll see, lower here. So we'll take a quick look at it. It's got some music videos on here. It's got a really cool kind of Outsiders little mini documentary on here. One good thing about the way this one is done, though, is because it's a separate CD, A, it gives them more room to make the video files a little bit better quality, because it's not competing also with all the audio files. But B, it just plays a lot better nowadays on contemporary machines. This is something I'm going to get into. So for this one, though, this just plays normally, even on a recent, like I've got Windows 7. You stick this on Windows 7, you're going to see all the video files pop up and we can watch them. So this is Pace One's One. Let's take a look at it. Alright, so we're going to go to this option, Open Folder to view the files. And here it's going to work. Later on, not so much. Wow, so right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus this little desktop file. 5 videos. So boom, declare, MPG, here we go.
This is a special news break. The mayor will announce today that he is declaring war on rap, and that all rap music opposition candidate Pace One.
Never been the type to take advice from a stranger. Gun next to me like my.
So it's just a music video for I Declare War by Pace One. And you'll see the video quality isn't mind-blowing, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's definitely compressed. If this were on YouTube, this would be like a 360 video or something, as opposed to a nice 720, 1080. But it's not too bad. And we got a couple others on here. We got the video for Leaving from the Outsiders. This is all window boxed. Again, they're keeping the files small. The video for Money, another Outsiders track off their EP Nightlife. They get this is their documentary I mentioned. It's about 10 minutes long. A lot of it's an interview, but Slangton, rest in peace. And this last one, they kind of make a mashup music video for the song The Rah Rah, Pace One's Outsiders track. So it's not really a proper music video, like it's a lot of concert footage and stuff like that, but it works, it's pretty cool. Definitely for an Outsiders fan. But that's the easy one. Now we're going to get down to the real old school enhanced CDs. No two separate disc stuff. This is the The regular audio CD is enhanced. So let's take a quick look at this one right here, classic one, 6.2, really cool, rare, underground. Before Anticon was Anticon, there were 45 Below, 6.2 signed to them, and he released this album, Psyche Intangible. Boom, enhanced CD. That's the very typical enhanced CD logo. All the enhanced CDs have them, whether it's the Doors to random hip hop stuff like this. Enhanced CDs. Now, this is really gonna have some difficulties playing, but we can definitely access some of the contents at least. So let's take a look. Now check this out. It's just, as you see, an Office Max CD with the writing on it, but this is not a copy I made or anything. This is exactly how I got it from Soul 45 Below way back in the 90s. So here we go, Psyche Intangible. Now this is not going to work so well. Now right away, media player comes up and it plays a CD. Just an audio CD like normal. These are just the 18 tracks of the CD, just like you popped in your CD player. That's fine, but we know there is enhanced content on here. And finding that, not going to be so easy. Let's take a look. Try to look at the content of the disc here by going to, this is a Windows 7 by the way. Here, and we will do, what it is, it's not Explore anymore, I guess it's Open. See, and all they have are the tracks 1 through 18, and the little desktop thing. And that's all they say. So looking at this, you would think this is the whole CD, but this is just what modern Windows programs, and by modern I mean like XP, 7, 8, like just all the Windows, unless you go all the way back to like 98, I think. I actually tried it, just as a point of interest, on Windows 95, because I actually have that, and that didn't work so well. So I think you really need Windows 98. But anyway, it's not going to work here, which is why I've got the Mac fired up. It's still not going to play perfectly. I did play this back in the day in the 90s, and I can describe sort of what it is. You get sort of a whole desktop layout, computer graphics and stuff like that. It really looks sort of, I guess, like a website. And there's buttons you can click, and it would play certain things. What you had on here was you had like a short music video intro, you had some little bit of music, and you had some kind of thing where you could mix tracks or something. There's a thing is like Tour 6.2 Studio. So a lot of that's not going to work, but look what pops up. Audio CD, and this is what would pop up when you put in any audio CD, and boom, it's just the same 18 tracks. But now there's a second one called Enhanced CD. And this brings up a whole bunch of files. Now, unfortunately, again, because this computer is not ancient any more than the PC is, and believe me, the PC is not all that new, but I mean, so it's not going to play a lot of these kinds of things, so it's not going to really work. So, I mean, if you look at like 6.2 Execute, you can't open the application 6.2 Execute because Windows applications are not supported on OS X. But if you go into the extras file, or even some of this stuff here, you can actually play some of the things. Like this is a little WAV file.
The following program is about murder. Some viewers may find certain scenes disturbing. We can make him better than he was.
So that's an extra little track that was on here. I think that basically played as the background for the menu screen I described. Here's the video file. You can watch that.
The following program is about
same
murder.
audio, but
some viewers may find certain scenes disturbing.
We can make him better than he was.
Now again, you notice the video quality sucks because this is really ultra super compressed to fit onto an audio CD with a whole bunch of other crap. But here's a taste anyway. This is as good as it ever looked, and this is the video that they made. That's only on the enhanced CD.
The forensic autopsy is detailed legal medical examination opening of the body.
We have the technology.
See, so there you go. A little look at 6.2's crib. Yeah, now see, in the extras folder is a thing called Mixed Services. None of this, unfortunately, works anymore. You would need a throwback. I mean, I'm sure there are ways to do it if you clone like an old school Windows operating system or something, and same with PCs. There are ways to do it if you're really going to dedicate yourself to it. Actually, on the PC, there's a program called ISO Builder, which if you download that, which is sort of freeware, except they want you to pay like $30 for it, so forget that, I'm not doing it. But just using the free version, you can see all the hidden files on the 6.2 CD. pop up and all the programs and stuff. But again, if you want to extract it and run it, they're like, pay us $30. So forget that. Anyway, you can see the video, you get a taste of it. Now finally we're going to wrap up with one. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. This is a little bit of both. This right here, Bass Alert. It looks like just one of those typical generic bass compilations where they just take a whole bunch of regular semi-popular bass songs and stick them as a compilation album. But it's not quite that. It's actually, even though it's not credited, it's just treated like Bass Alert, like it's a compilation. It's actually a DJ Spin album. This is sort of his debut album. He produced the whole thing. It's mostly instrumental, but he's got some vocal tracks on here with some interesting vocal appearances by like Disco Rick, Fresh Kid Ice, Fat Daddy. So it's a semi-legitimate album. I mean, it's not, I have a feeling he didn't necessarily pour his heart and soul into the entirety of this album. Some of this stuff does sort of feel like throwaway instrumentals and stuff. There's stuff here like Feel the Bass, which is a total DJ Magic Mike Feel the Bass ripoff, stuff like that. And it's definitely just sort of your pure classic, program, kind of on the cheap mommy bass music kind of beats, which are really just to show off the ultrasonic deep bass stuff. And there's been multiple issues of the CD. If you look on, Discogs or Amazon or whatever, there's like 10 different versions of Bass Alert. This one here is on Soho Records, and this one's special because it's enhanced. We're going to go right to the Mac because it's going to do exactly like the 6.2 CD did in the PC. It'll just play the audio CD and it won't show you anything else on the disc. And once again, like with the PC, it's going to give us as soon as it loads up, it's going to give us 2 CD options. The regular CD and then the hidden bonus content, some of which will work. One, two, okay. By the way, this is just full of lovely, trashy artwork, which you might buy this CD just for this if you're that kind of person. So, which is which? Bass Explode, okay, that's just your basic CD. Bass Alert, here's their extra stuff. Now, again, a lot of this stuff's not going to work. There's a help file, but I think it basically... Look, they're talking about QuickTime 2.0. I don't know how old that is, but it's not recent. It's 90s. But if we go into... There's a QuickTime folder here, but it's not actually the movies. You go into this one called The Stuff. Here we go. Sounds. Now, this is a program... A lot of what it is your chance... It says to mix your own bass track. And so you've got all these tracks... all these sounds, was there like 50 maybe, these AIF files? I'll play you a couple.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. Oh, get out of here.
Find the slot.
Some of these are just audio samples like that.
Find the slot. What's up, baby? What's the 411? Well, my name's Renard. Coming to you from deep.
Renard is one of the models, by the way. Remember that name. And I think, actually, if you listen to the CD, these pieces are used in the tracks that DJ Spin made on the actual CD. But some of the songs really do, I don't want to diss the CD too much. Some of the tracks, like, again, the stuff like Fresh Kid Ice and Disco Rick are solid, genuine, decent tracks of Miami bass kind of stuff. Not their best work, definitely wouldn't be in like a Disco Rick's greatest hits, but some quality stuff. And Fat Daddy is definitely a cool, underrated artist to see make some exclusive appearances here. But now let's get into the real... PC movies aren't going to work here, obviously, so the QuickTime, I believe, are just duplicates of the PC movies. And here we go. This is just their basic logo. Kind of boring. Get out of that. Puzzle. Now we're talking, right? Oh no, they're under arrest! Oh no, she's a stripper too! So, it's just music to the album. You got these little videos that would play. I've never actually... I got the CD more recently, like a couple years ago, so I've never actually seen it fully functional enhanced CD, like, the 6.2 one. I saw the whole background layout again. It looks like a fancy website and everything. I assume this had a similar kind of thing. Now we're just accessing the video files. But really, this is it. This is the real content. And here we go. Veronica, Melissa, and Renard, who I mentioned, these are the 3 models from the album cover, from all the artwork, the 3 girls, and each one has a little dancing video. These are classic and classy. Look at this. And look how badly compressed and digital it is, and you know, I mean, all her edges are blocky, pixelated squares, and there's no music to these. This is wonderful. This is the future of CDs. If CDs were still in 1994. And yeah, they're all like that. Here's Veronica. Just dancing in green space. I don't know why they're also heavily tinted green. I mean, it must have something to do with poor quality, because that's clearly, you know, meant to be just a white background, and their skin and clothes aren't meant to be green. Well, for some reason, they're all green. Finally, Melissa. Enhanced CDs. The 90s in action. That's it for me, guys. So thanks for watching. Real deal Holyfield, guys. Alright, let's fire this up. Inserting 6.2. By the way, I'm not standing in darkness, it's just pointing this camera at the monitor and makes it black out everything else. But this is all lit, actually, perfectly fine. Here we go, CD is spinning. Will it autoplay? Is it waiting for me? Here we go, CD. Look at that, it's blank it says, hey? Shows nothing. Open. Nothing, it's like it's a blank CD. Even Windows 95 does not want to play this enhanced CD. It does play other CDs. Well, I'm going to muck around with this some more, but if I don't get anywhere, we'll take it back to the other computers.